guys, Justin Beard here from Flexi PT. Now, after about 30 years of playing a sport, you'd probably consider yourself an expert, but that's not the way I look at things. I always think there's plenty to learn, and I'm always using other people to learn these things from. Do my research and make sure I'm delivering the correct information. So today, when I'm talking about training programs, I'm not going to call myself an expert, even though I've been writing them for 10 years, because I always think there are definitely new ways, always new ways to do things, and there is no one specific way to do it. So talking about training plans, when I look at a training plan, there's three things that I'm looking for, and this is going to be very generalized because, let's be honest, I don't want to go into too much detail. And the absolute experts, the people who have been doing this forever and have all the science and the data behind it, when they're delivering this information, quite often as a listener, we can be lost in all the figures and all the big words and whatnot. So I'm just going to keep it really simple. But the three things that I'm looking for: first one, sustainability. So it needs to be sustainable. There's no point being given a program that you can do for 8, 10, 12 weeks. And then once you're finished, you're like, oh, I'm glad that's done. I'm cooked. And you're all burnt out, because the idea of a training program is to get you to your peak right as competition hits or whatever it is you're trying to do. And then at that point, we baseline. We go back into just a normal training phase, and then we build on it again with a bit of a break. So not to the point where we're just stopping completely, but we've still got that motivation to continue to train, but not at the same levels that we were before. So sustainability is really important. Then there's a general rule about the 5% rule. So the 5% rule, and let's use this for running because it's going to be easier to use numbers for this. Let's say I ran 10 kilometers last week. Over the whole week, I ran 10 kilometers. That's a good week, all right? So let's say 10 kilometers, good week. Now, if I woke up on Monday next week and I thought, you know what, I'm going to run 20 kilometers this week. That's not 5%. That's a 100% increase. Even 15 Ks is a 50% increase. So we're looking at really small figures here when you're starting at 10 Ks. And the reason behind this is that it's accumulative. So if I run 20 kilometers next week, I go, well, what's the big deal? I was able to do that quite comfortably. Thing is, in 3 or 4 weeks' time, when I'm continually making these progressions at probably larger than 5%, my body is going, oh, hang on. Or even if I lower it to 20%, my body's not happy with me, and it's not telling me until something just goes kapoof. Yep, I had a mate who was diving into a pool on just a normal pool. In on the last jump, he went in and broke his neck. And the doctor said on every single dive, he was continually weakening the joint until his neck could take no more, and it was that final jump that did it. But up until then, totally fine. So that's a bit extreme. But as far as this is concerned, soft tissue injuries, if we're not looking after our body in the correct way, it's exactly what's going to happen. So that's the 5% rule. So I'm always looking to make sure that the program is progressing at a nice steady rate. A nice program would maybe be 4 weeks of a certain group of exercises at a certain range. And then after 4 weeks, you might want to increase the load or the volume, and then intensity as well. So program's always about adjusting the volume and the intensity of the exercise or of the workout. So that's number 2. Number 3, keeping it fresh, making sure that it is an enjoyable program. There is no point having a program written for you if you look at it and you are bored by it. It might be tough, but if it's boring, you're going to wake up every morning, look at it and go, no, I don't want to do that, but have to force yourself to do it. So at the end of the program, you go, oh, that's done. Glad I got through that. So it needs to be fresh. It needs to be exciting. You need to wake up in the morning and go, I can't wait to do that session. Or you go to bed the night before and you're like, I can't wait to get into that session. I know it's going to be hard, but it's something different. So when we're looking at running, we're majority of the runs are nice and slow, nice and steady. We talk about zone 2. It's a heart rate and a pace, but it's relatively easy, and that sets us up for the harder days where we run a little bit quicker. So we do interval sessions, or we do tempo sessions, or we do something along those lines. But with all those boring long sessions of running at a really simple pace, you then get excited for those quick sessions and those speedy sessions, and the something a little bit different and fresh. So next time you're looking at a training program, or you're writing your own, or you're doing something like that, make sure your program looks like that, or their program looks like that, and they're getting the enjoyment, or you're getting the enjoyment out of the program. And it's also very important that if the program is not written for you specifically, it's probably not going to be suitable for you. I've seen plenty of people go, oh yeah, my friend, she's like 30 or 40 kilos heavier than me, but she wants to lose weight, I want to lose weight, we're about the same age, I'm just going to use her program, or vice versa. And you can imagine if someone was a little bit heavier and there's a whole heap of jumping exercises in this program, it's not going to be suitable for that person. So you just really make sure that you're doing your due diligence when you're going through a program. Even if someone writes it for you, make sure you take a good look at it, ask questions if you've got any. But ultimately, yeah, have fun with it. The idea of exercise is to live longer, enjoy yourself, and go nuts. So that's my general video on training programs, and hope you enjoyed it. But if you've got any questions, you know exactly what to do. You can comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Get in touch with us at any point, and we'll be happy to help out with whatever questions you have. So that's it from me. Have a good one. Catch ya. Bye.